What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got a couple new Digimon cards that we need to be taking a little bit of a look at. They work very, very nicely together as a pair, and if you like the look of those Eosmon that I told you about the other day, this is probably the point where you need to start getting just a little bit excited. We got a new Tamer, and we got a new Digimon here. And I want to start off with the Digimon. Now, it is a green Digimon, but that's largely irrelevant because the Tamer is white and the Eosmon are white. This just so happens to be a green Digimon that interacts with them. Now, I'm sure there is some kind of Digimon-related reason. If there is, please let me know in the comment section. That's the kind of thing I love to hear about. But for now, I don't know, green-white hybrid, yay, etc. So what we've got here in translations from the lovely folks at Ensan Gaming and DigimonCard.dev, we have got Morphomon. Free cost to play normally, 0 cost to Digivolve, 1000 power. So if it's got that low power, you know it's going to have a good skill. On deletion, you reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Add 1 Menoa Bellucci, not Monica Bellucci, though it sounds very similar, Tamer card, and 1 Digimon card with Aemon in its name from among them to your hand. And then place the other cards at the bottom of your deck in any order, fine. So this is cool. Now, Manoa we're going to get to in a moment. Obviously, she is very much all about Eosmon as well. We will see about it in a moment. But now you're searching the Tamer, which works, and one of the Eosmon as well. That is awesome. This is very, very nice indeed. And this is a classic kind of search card. We've seen these search cards a lot. It is a deletion skill, and green don't self-delete like, for instance, purple do. But then again, you got 1000 power. Just chuck yourself into the security, take out a security card. Even if you get blocked, it's not the end of the world, because you still get deleted, you still get to do the searching. Yes, the ruling is going to be the same as it always is here. That is to say, if you only hit the Tamer or the Eosmon, you can just grab the one, whereas if you hit both, you do obviously have the option of hitting both. And if you're playing this kind of deck, it's perfect. It's a very specific kind of card. So, whereas if we look at something like Palmon, another green Digimon that can do a bit of the old searching, Palmon can fit into a huge variety of decks, because Palmon, when you play it, not Digivolve play, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add a level 4 Digimon. So you can get any level 4, it is going to work in the majority of decks. Similarly, if we go over to the green starter deck, we can take a little bit of a look at Tentamon, and when you play it, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a green Digimon, you add it to your hand. These are cards that will fit into any green deck. This is not. This is a very specific card that will fit into an Eosmon deck, but clearly in that deck, it is awesome. But then we head on over to Manoa, and it just gets better. Now here we got a 4-cost Tamer, which is obviously on the higher end, but that's fairly standard. First ever Manoa for what it's worth. At the start of your turn, if you've got 2 or less memory, you set it to 3. Again, that is a standard skill we see on pretty, well, not all the Tamers, but certainly a fair amount of them. But on your turn, when an Eosmon comes into play, you may rest this Tamer, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and add a Tamer or a Digimon with Eosmon to your hand. So, whereas Morphomon was the top 5 and you could get 1 of each, Tamer and Eosmon, here it is top 3 and you only get 1. But it is every time you play an Eosmon this comes in. You play it, you search. You play, you search. Now, obviously, you have to rest it, but it's every turn, and potentially with 4 Manoas in play, you could have this happening 4 times a turn. That is pretty gosh darned ridiculous. And now we need to go back and remind ourselves exactly what those Eosmon do, because they're pretty gosh darn good. Now, they also completely break the rules. Now, we've actually seen a level 4 and a level 5, and the level 5 reads, you can have up to 50 cards with the same card number as this card in your deck. Which means that you can potentially, and again, you're only playing 50 card decks. If you're playing Manoa or Morphomon, you're going to need lower than this. But you could play, for instance, 4 Manoa, 4 Morphomon, and this. 42 of this. Which is kind of, you wouldn't because you'd have no draw engine, no evolution, etc. But I'm saying it's technically an option. And when you attack, you may play a level 5 or lower Eosmon from your hand without paying the memory cost. And then, of course, when you play it without paying its memory cost, you can then rest Manoa, because an Eosmon is coming into play, and reveal the top 3 cards of your deck and look for another one. The combo gets pretty nutty pretty quickly. But also, we've got the level 4 here, and the level 4, when you play it, you may play a white 4 cost or less Tamer from your hand without paying its cost. Oh, look. This just so happens to be a 4 cost or less white Tamer. And we kind of knew this was coming, right? We see this all the time. When you have a card that specifically interacts with 4 cost or less white Tamers, you can bet your bottom dollar that in the set there is going to be a 4 cost or less white Tamer. Now, interestingly enough, this is still not the only white Tamer I dislike in this particular deck. I do think there is an argument that can be made here to actually start playing around with, say, Takumi Aiba, which is a 2-cost card. I should mention translated proxies from DigimonCard.dev. They are awesome. But every time you Digivolve, you can suspend it to draw a card. And it also is a great counter against level 3 Digimon. And you'll notice that what we're rocking here with the Eosmon are level 4 and 5. The Digivolve from green, so you'll be fine. And I should probably have mentioned that earlier in the video, but let me make it super clear now. Yes, we're talking about a green-white hybrid deck here, but Eosmon does Digivolve from green. So essentially this is how we go. I still think Takumi Aiba is great for the draw here, but you've got your Morphomon as your level 3, and then when it gets deleted, you get to just go a little bit nuts. Obviously, if you've got Takumi Aiba down, when you attack with Morphomon, you'll lose a memory, you have been warned. And then you Digivolve up into your level 4, which lets you, or you play it normally to play a Tamer for free, one or the other. But also when you attack, you can play a white 4 cost or less Tamer from your hand without paying its cost, i.e. you've got this skill on play, and when attacking, you should be able to play all or at least most of your Manoa for free. And obviously Manoa's got that usual skill, whereby if it comes out as a security card, you get to play the card for free, which is nice. And then you go up into your level 5 that lets you play your Eosmon for free, bearing in mind you can search them out more easily with both Morphomon and Manoa. And do you see where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen? This is a full-on swarm deck. You can play Tamers for free, you can play Digimon for free, you can search them out more easily. It gets, frankly, a little bit silly. Now, there is actually one more skill on Manoa, because apparently 2 skills wasn't enough. On your opponent's turn, when you control an Eosmon, your opponent's Tamer cannot be active during their active phase, or unsuspended during their unsuspend phase. And that's redonk, because there are way too many Tamers that have great skills, but you've got to suspend them. Manoa herself lets you search, but only if you rest the Tamer. I mentioned Takumi Aiba earlier, that lets you draw when you Digivolve, but only if you suspend the Tamer. Mimi Tachikawa, I have made the point many times, is my favourite Tamer in the game, because you essentially get an extra breeding phase if you got a level 5 or higher green Digimon, but only if you suspend the Tamer. And if you suspend the Tamer and don't unsuspend it, you can't then suspend it again to activate the skill. Now, it does say during their unsuspend phase, so in theory here, there is a possibility of some kind of card effect unsuspending Tamers, and that would still work, but that is not what you're going for here, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to turn off a whole bunch of Tamers, and honestly, I like this without this third skill on Manoa here. I like that you get to guarantee you start with free memory. I like that every time you play an Eosmon, which should be often and often free, you get to do a little bit of searching. And that alone makes me think it's a good card. Now you're also chucking in the fact that I'm basically turning off a load of my opponent's Tamers. Bearing in mind, if I choose to play Takumi Iber, I'm also turning off their level 3s, or at least making it way more difficult. And this is just beautiful. I'm giving this whole thing 5 wassies. I am hyped, ladies and gentlemen. I think that these cards together, the two Eosmon, the Morphomon, and Manoa, I think this is just a redonkulous combo. And when you're playing multiple Tamers for free, and multiple Digimon for free, and searching them out more easily, and disrupting your opponent, that seems like the kind of thing that is going to quickly add up to a whole bunch of awesome. That's what I think. I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassy. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wassy Plays.